everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, the Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants. Today is Wednesday, March 28th, 2018. We are officially halfway through the last week in March. Today I want to talk to you guys about something just a little bit different than we have in the previous episodes of Katie in the Morning. We talked a little bit about preceptorship in one of our episodes, the welcoming, orientating, training, and transitioning. But one thing that we didn't really capture is how to train people in different ways on how to do things. Not our way isn't always the right way, and different people learn in different ways and take information in different ways. It just goes back to that old thing, 6 + 3 = 9, but so does 5 + 4. Like I said, the way that you do things isn't the only way to do them. Respect other people's way of thinking. And with that being said, as preceptors, mentors, and trainers, and coaches, one of the things that is our biggest part of our job is to pay attention to how that person is taking in information, asking them questions and getting feedback, and kind of learning the ways that they learn in the best way that they can. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then I'll break it down into the different categories of residents, whether they're independent, limited, extensive, total dependents, and how you can train different people in different ways on how to care for those residents. We'll be right back.
When you have satisfied and content CNAs, the care is better and you're going to have less nursing assistant turnover.
So many times I think they're just, in the trenches and nobody hears and nobody cares about them, and it's not true. It's simply not true. And this organization helps them gain that voice and helps them be heard.
We're awesome, and I'm going to hold my head high and I'm going to ride this magic carpet and I'm going to change the world. That's what NACA did for me.
For more information, visit us online at nacacna.org or call 417-623-6049. Tune in to CNA TV every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time for long-term care news with Dane Henning.
Welcome back, everybody. Multitasking is one of the skills that CNAs develop with their experience, and as they become more seasoned, they become better at it. That is especially true with our independent people. Promoting independence, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, is the biggest part of our job while those people are in our care. So when it comes to your independent people, when you're training a new employee, make sure that you're showing them how to set that person up for success, not the trainee, but the resident themselves. Going in and multitasking, letting that person go to the bathroom, kind of taking care of their own stuff while you're opening up the bed, changing garbages, cleaning up the room, moving anything out of the way that could be a fall risk is probably one of the things that gets skipped most often, but it is definitely one of the most important things when it comes to caring for those independent people. By all means, if they're asking for help, please do not tell them no, because they are asking you for a reason. They've been in their body for 70, 80, 90 years, and 9 out of 10 times they probably know what's going on before we know what's going on. They know if something's off. They know if they're not feeling right. So if they're asking for help, definitely help them. With the limited assist people, that's the same thing, especially if you're training somebody. Let them have the experience of supervising them and kind of check in with them, make sure that they're feeling comfortable, setting them up, letting them do their own thing while you're out making the bed, changing the garbages, cleaning up the room, making sure everything's set up for that person when they come out of the restroom to go into the bed. Showers and baths, that's the same thing there. Make sure that you're showing the person that you're training how to set that resident up to do it themselves with a limited assist. When it comes to more extensive assist people, that's where your 2 assist residents are going to start to come into play. But make sure that you're showing them how to multitask. Once again, going in, setting up your stuff beforehand, setting them up for success, not just the trainee, but the resident as well. If it's somebody that's care planning for a 2 assist, and make sure you're telling your trainee, don't go ask for help and then wait for that person to come. You can start doing their top half while you're waiting for assistance. It's going to cut your time that you're in that room almost in half by not waiting for someone to come help you with that part, the part that you don't need help with the washing the face, doing oral cares, lotion, deodorant, checking the upper extremities for pressure ulcers, reddening, any area that looks different than it did before, bruising, skin tears. The same thing with the total dependent people. Start doing that stuff beforehand. Ask for help, and then start to take care of that stuff before your help gets to the room. That way you're not wasting your partner's time either by them having to stand there and watch you do everything for that, just to be in there to help you with that transfer. I want to back up just a minute. For those people that go into the restroom and do some of their cares by themselves, if not most of them, some people go with the head, shoulders, knees, and toes, where they start from the top and they work themselves to the bottom. I'm kind of opposite. I don't know if it's my dyslexia kicking in, but I like to do it the opposite way, where I set that person up so they can brush their teeth. You lay the towel on over the lap and put what they call a kidney basin, which I never really understood why they call it a kidney basin, because it looks more like a bean to me. That would be the phrase that I would use. Go get the bean basin. Set it on their lap, set them up. While they're doing that, you're changing their shoes or into gripper socks or whatever they're going to use to transfer to the bed, putting lotion on, cleaning up the bathroom, that sort of thing, giving them plenty of time to do what they can do in the time that they can do it. And by them, I mean the resident. But explain this to your trainee as you're kind of orientating them and letting them get to know each resident's kind of flow of how they do things. That person, and make sure you're telling them while you're training them, you're going to come up with your own flow, you're going to get your own groove. Please don't try to do things the way that I do them. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, you're going to just kind of find your own nicks and knacks in there to make your shift flow smoothly. When it comes to transferring, take time with the resident. After all, that's what they're paying us above and beyond. Anything else is for our time and our experience to help them personally. When it comes to the dependent people, the same thing goes. Don't wait, go ask for your help to go back to the room, start your cares, get their top half done. Oral care, brushing their hair is another thing that gets skipped quite frequently, but that's the last thing I do before I go to bed every night is brush my hair out and put it in a braid. So why aren't we doing that for our elderlies if it's one of the things that they've done their entire lives as their bedtime routine? Make sure that you're showing your trainees how to properly transfer somebody, whether they have to wait for help with that or whether they can do it themselves. And definitely make sure you're tuning in with the resident with that as well, because somebody that you're working with during the day shift could be a completely different personality and strength-wise when it comes to evening after their meal. Their supper's starting to settle in, they're getting drowsy from all the activities that they've been to. Maybe they have some meds that they take after supper that could affect the way that they walk or transfer at night. So those are things that you need to tell your trainee to be especially observant towards. When it comes to rolling and cleaning those check and change people, a lot of the time you can do that by yourself. Show your trainee kind of little tricks of the trade on how to roll people. I know a lot of CNAs prefer to roll people towards them. That way the bed railings are a no-go in a lot of facilities nowadays, but by using yourself as a barrier from that person between the bed and the floor, it's a lot easier to clean them up. That's one of my personal preferences, but once again, somebody may not feel comfortable doing that, so show them different ways how to do it. Being a preceptor, a mentor, and a coach, it's one of the things that you really have to stay in tune with. And if they're having problems or struggling in areas, ask them, is this something you're feeling uncomfortable doing? Do you need a little more guidance in this area? Is there a different way that I can show you how to do this? And give examples that are simple, like I referred to in one of the other segments of Katie in the Morning, like hydration. There's more than one type of way to get hydration. There is absorption through the skin. There is oral. That's the liquids that they're drinking during the day. So hydration is definitely one of the things that you can show them different ways how to do it. But the skin absorption is an easy one to break down. I've used it before in comparison to a piece of cheese. Actually, one of the facilities that I coached did this as a presentation to the rest of the facility during one of their in-house in-services, and they took a piece of cheese and left it out for 3 days and put another one in the bag, and just to show the difference of the way that the cheese dried up is very easily compared to the skin of our elderly. They're less likely to get skin tears, bruising. Eczema is another big one. You keep that skin hydrated and it's less likely to show up. So those are just a few tips for you guys as you're training new people into the facility. If you want them to stay, we are notorious for eating our young, which is something that we really, really, really need to stop doing. Right now we are training the people who are going to train the people who are going to take care of us one day. So at the end of the day, ask yourself, who would you want taking care of you in 20, 30, 40 years? Somebody who is compassionate, caring, and willing to pass on to that knowledge to the next generation, or somebody that's just there for the paycheck. I will see you guys right back here tomorrow at Katie in the morning at 10 o'clock. Until then, have a wonderful day.